One.
What I've been wanting since they wreck.
No, I
Be my baby.
Duly noted.
Buy it, use it, break it, fix it, trash it, change it, melt, upgrade it, charge it, point it, zoom it, press it, snap it, work it, quick erase it, write it, cut it, paste it, save it, load it, check it, quick rewrite it, plug it, play it, burn it, rip it, drag
Welcome.
it, drop it, zip
Welcome.
Welcome.
We did it.
We
We're
did it.
here. We
Yep.
made it to this episode that isn't one.
8.
It's not. Oh, come on.
I'm not. No, we do not have time for you to count
would've-
all the way to 8.
I would have gotten there eventually, but I guess because I'm tired, this is the last red eye. Episode 8. Come on, that was good. That was good, and I did it without any kind of. Okay, I did it.
I listened to this week. That is the soundtrack from Doctor Who Series 9.
Okay.
That was composed, all the music for that is done by Murray Gold. That was the BBC National Orchestra and Chorus.
I do love the BBC. One of the greatest things ever is watching the BBC. I think they're actually labeled the Radio Orchestra. Do a special piece of music by Cage. You might have heard of it, except you didn't hear it because it's silence. Do you know the piece?
Do you like Foreigner? Is Tupac in the Rock and Roll Hall of
I
Fame?
think he is.
I know Run DMC
Could be
is.
fake news. Don't
I
quote
know
me on it.
Run DMC I think is there because of Walk This Way.
Yeah.
But that was that was Foreigner. We talked about this one on the album on the album
Mhm.
releases. That was them and the 21st Century Symphony Orchestra and Chorus.
They do.
I do like that. They actually performed an overture at the beginning. The
Hmm.
orchestra went through a quick rundown of like all of the songs.
That's pretty dope.
So that was a fun little spiel. That was really classical. It was Doctor Who and Foreigner.
Yeah, that's refreshing for you, isn't it?
Well, after other things.
After just spending all your time with the hip hop. I'm working on my flow.
Actually, there was some hip hop here. There's this name though. Young Boy Never Broke Again.
What?
That is his name. He also goes by NBA Young Boy, but
Why
his
on either of them.
album
Neither one of those things are permanent.
his album Until Death Called My Name was number 4, number 5. Regardless, he was outside today.
I ain't going outside today. Couldn't find a tick. So I'm drinking on egg today. I'ma put up my style. We gon' do a drive-by in the rain. I'ma
Not feeling it.
No.
How about so Janelle Monáe? I'm personally more familiar with a singer. Here's the title track from her new album, Dirty Computer.
But it's only me, you dirty computer.
Now, it's actually funny though because there is one. I actually have to pull it up too. She has one track on there called, I believe, Django Jane.
Fat.
Django Jane.
Django Unchained melody.
Django Jane, but she actually is like
Django Jane.
she can actually rap really well.
Like actually well.
Yeah,
or
here.
Like,
Let me pull up something.
Huh.
Let's give
that
it a
looks
listen.
like a screen.
I'm a damn bandwagon. Remember when they used to say I look too mannish? Black girl magic, y'all can't stand it, y'all can't ban it. Made out like a bandit. They've been trying hard just to make us all.
That's a lot of energy. I really dig that.
No, that like Django Jane is my favorite track from that album.
That's pretty dope.
When it starts, I'm like, oh, okay, she's rapping. I'm kind of hit or miss. But then she just starts going, and I'm like, wow, this is actually really good.
I love that when you're like, okay, they're trying to. Oh, they're not just trying to rap. They're actually like they can do that thing.
Right. Other than that, the charts have been dominated by one gentleman who did this song.
I've been fucking hoes and popping pillies, man, I feel just like a rock star. All my brothers got that gas and they always be smoking like a rock star.
Post Malone's.
Oh, Bob Dylan. I love Bob Dylan.
Post Malone. I wondered, it's like, do I want to do the bit right now, this early in the episode? But Post Malone's Beer Bog and Bentleys has been released. It charted number 1. He broke the record too for having the most singles in the top 20 of the Hot 100.
Oh, nice.
previously held by the Beatles.
That's kind of upsetting, actually. Like, I'm not dogging Post Malone is doing interesting work. And obviously the market loves him, but the Beatles are the iconic band. You
Right.
know? Like when you think, the British invasion, like you don't usually think of anyone other than the Beatles. The Beatles.
Or the Rolling Stones.
Ringo Starr. Even then, I don't think of them first
Yeah.
for much of anything that they're known for compared to like the Who or
But let's see, what else have I been going through? Oh, so there are a couple of interesting... There are 2 jazz albums that were released, and both touched on topics of modern technology.
Interesting.
So there is Kat Edmondson. She's 34, released her album Old Fashioned Girl. Here's a little taste of that.
I'm an old-fashioned gal.
Oh my gosh.
Bring me a good old-fashioned.
So it's very Patti Page, Nat King
yeah.
Cole, Frank Sinatra, that sort of
She
era.
just places it.
Like she's just right in the mic.
Not just that, like also like the sound is right.
No, it's all up in her nose, and she does that whole song is about like, God forbid I miss a notification or a text.
That's hilarious.
And it's funny because it's this old traditional pop 40s 50s era music talking about how connected we are to phones. Similarly, Dave Tull released an album called Texting and Driving.
Wow, that's right
so,
to the point.
So Dave Tull is a jazz drummer, but he does a lot of vocal work as well, given it's always humorous.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give you a little taste. This is the texting song.
I can't wait 10 seconds, so I'll probably die in the auto wreck that happens next. I just gotta send a text. I just can't imagine doing anything at all without a phone in my hand.
That's amazing.
So that entire album is funny. He has a song on there where the entire thing is when you forget someone's name.
Who'd you say that was?
Dave Tull.
He's
he's not related
doing,
to Jethro.
He's sort of doing that same sort of crooning thing as I just honestly thought it was Richard Cheese because I missed the name the first time, and they sound so similar, but I just cannot quote him on the songs that I know because they're wildly inappropriate.
But dumb tish. Van Morrison also was up there with Joey DeFrancesco.
Yeah, you're driving me crazy. What did I do?
Very more traditional, what you'd expect with a jazz album.
Well, I just wish, that makes me think. I was observing how clear that upright bass sounds, and I just wish that some of the old Van Morrison jams could just be re-recorded and updated with that kind of clarity. I think about,
What's that one song?
Moon Dance.
Thank you.
Is that the one you're thinking
Yeah,
about?
it's exactly
and
Moon
just,
Dance.
The whole mix sounds like it could benefit from not just a remaster, but a remix altogether, or a re-record with a different set of studio pickers or something.
Other than that, there was another group called Take Six. There was another Grateful Dead from the Dave's Picks charted. Boy, am I sick of those. The Godsmack album we talked about.
Yeah,
that charted.
Legends Rise.
Yep. And then there was one that was I had to look up on this because the Billboard's an American company and they particularly chart American sales.
Yeah.
There's always the country element. So this is Keith Urban's Graffiti You.
Virgin Mary, Scarlet Letter, Technicolor, River Wild, baby girl, woman, child, female.
That was a song, Female. And it's funny because he's from Australia.
There's a lot to unpack there, and I want to talk. The thought occurred to me earlier, and it's like the lines between what each genre's audience admires seems to be blurring, because that was obviously an 80s influence sound.
Oh,
like
yeah, with the reverb.
That snare drum.
It just decays forever.
It's just like a snare drum in a cave, just forever.
Yep.
And earlier, one of the Post Malone bits, one of the lines was "feeling like a rock star." Why are they interested in feeling like a rock star when their like musical genre obviously dominates like in?
Well, it goes back to remember like "Party Like a Rock Star"
again,
which
same
was
issue.
2007.
Oh no,
2008.
That was like 10 years ago.
Oh wow, it was. Dear God.
Well, and then rock stars write songs about being rock stars, but they're like melancholy and regretful about it, like that Nickelback jam. I just wanna be rock stars.
And then they ask you to look at this photograph.
Look at this photograph.
Look at this giraffe. Look at this graph.
I think that's an interesting thing. And then you have the country dichotomy where there are these very rich, typically white men who get off their private jets and go on a stage with literally millions of dollars of equipment around them and sing about hard work, tractor trailers, and girls in jean shorts. And it just seems disingenuous.
A little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit. Why isn't there a rapper called Lil Bit?
Oh, there is now. Because I'm Tim, and we have Tim Bits.
Regardless, that's what I've been listening to.
All right. I've been hyping this up all week.
Yeah, he's been nothing for the past 3 days. He will not tell me what he's going to play.
All right, so a dear friend of mine
says
showed
I'm
this
not
to
prepared
me,
for it.
And this is a series of covers, so it's familiar, famous, popular tunes. They think this is really good. They think this is like the best cover possible of this music. Okay, they are very serious.
Okay.
I'm really thorough, guys. Usually I sort of jump into the middle of it, but this one I'm just gonna roll from the beginning. Oh, Lord in heaven.
Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide, no escape from reality. Open your eyes. Look up to the skies and see.
Our technology doesn't even like it.
It doesn't. It really doesn't. Do you recognize it?
I recognize it.
Do you recognize who that is?
I have a thought as to who it might be.
Yeah.
It's not.
You recognize this song? It's
Yeah.
The sinner never sinned. So you know that when I die,
Our technology is so.
We've got some levels issues happening.
So is it Shatner doing his thing again?
Yep. He has like 13 albums, and it's William Shatner doing spoken word covers, sometimes with backing track. His Iron Man cover features Zakk Wylde. Like, he thinks he's really being a good, serious artist when he's like, I am Iron Man. I am Iron Man. There's, listen to this track list. Major Tom, Space Oddity, sorry. In a Little While, Space Cowboy, Rocket Man, Walking on the Moon.
That was what he was known for doing this for, was Rocket Man.
Right. Iron Man, Planet Earth. And some of these, like, Empty Glass features Michael Schenker. The Michael Schenker. I have one of his signature guitar models. We have Steve Miller, a Space Cowboy. And this is just one album. Another album that we have for William Shatner features only excerpts and soliloquies from my man Shakespeare, but with weird backing tracks.
Do these make money?
He made so many of them.
Are they actually profitable, or is he just doing this because he enjoys it?
There might be a mix there. I don't know how well they do. But the fact that he keeps throwing money at them.
You know what? Here, what's the name of the first one you played? The album name.
That was it's literally William Shatner's Seeking Major Tom album.
I'm looking this up.
So while you're looking it up, I went down memory lane pretty recently and spent some time with some ska music. Did I do that last week too?
It debuted at number 1 on the Billboard Heatseekers chart.
Oh, no. Which one? That album? That's heartbreaking. People listen to that on purpose.
I was trying to see if it had any certifications or anything.
I'm trying to remember. So I'm going through like a ska phase, and it's lasted a couple weeks. I can't remember if I.
Oh, I didn't wear my ska hat.
Did I ska last week?
You just got a little bit last week.
A little bit last week. Okay.
If you ska again next week, I can wear my ska hat.
All right, we might ska next week. Well, I don't want to double dip. I don't want to double dip it off. I don't want to double dip it off.
I don't want to double dip it off. Hey,
wait,
hey,
actually,
hey,
pick it up. Okay, so my goddaughter's favorite show when she was like 3 was Yo Gabba Gabba. And there's a song about cleaning up. It's a ska song, and it goes, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. Oh, man. Anyway, starting to not feel so good, Tony. Better take a break.
I swear to God.
I did it.
And we're back.
We're back. I did the thing. We found out why it sounded so bad in the last segment. I apologize for that, by the way. We got some direct box issues, so the adapter for my auxiliary out on this has to be only plugged halfway into this Countryman for it to work, so I got to give it a little love. Please accept our apologies. Okay, news time. It's the news time.
News.
So a couple weeks ago, like 3 or 4 episodes ago, we started talking about streaming as a general thing, and it's really relevant because it dominates the market, right? People are throwing most of their resources at it.
I forget which report it was. Was that 65, 68% of the market?
That's significant.
More than
half. Significant.
More than half.
So that represents a great deal of livelihood for artists and the labels and the companies associated with them. So there's a lot of externalities associated with good performance on these things, right? That makes it a big deal when I see a headline, CBS News, Tidal accused of falsifying stream numbers for Beyoncé and Kanye West. Wow, that's a lot to unpack.
And if, for those of you who don't remember or don't know, Tidal is Jay-Z's streaming platform.
Now, Jay-Z's relevant because who's Jay-Z married to?
So Tidal
Kanye. He's married to Kanye West.
He's married to Kanye West.
He's not. No. Actually, Kanye only is in love with fish because he's a gay fish. Remember that South Park?
Regardless.
How you not have it again? Okay, yeah. Beyonce being Jay-Z's wife makes this it looks a little like embezzlement. I mean, it's not really embezzlement. But placing...
It's worse. It's stream-mezzlement.
Stream bezel.
Strezzlement.
Dang it, I wish I could have thought of strezzlement when we were thinking of awesome streaming platforms.
Strezzlement?
Strezzlement. It's streaming, except it only has fake streams.
What does that mean?
It means that you get $0. I don't know. This is a huge news, though. So, the article came out of a ridiculous publication called Music Business Worldwide. Now they're a Norwegian publication, so there's a language barrier. But part of the issue is the accusation suggests that Beyonce and Kanye West were given fake views, fake streams, fake plays to the tune of 330 million.
That's a significant number.
Now there's a variation on the amount of payout per play. It's usually between 1/100th or 1/1000th of a penny, somewhere in there. It's a big range, but it's between that. But let's say that Tidal's given out the dough on the high end. It's something like $1.3 million worth of fake plays. Now, the article also suggests that Kanye and Beyonce both received inflated royalties as a result. So there are real consequences. Now, it's not a zero-sum game, but if they didn't get those plays, wow, that is scandalous.
Yeah.
That's a huge deal. Huge deal.
Mm-hmm.
So it definitely begins to chip away at the credibility of an organization like Tidal, especially with such an intense competitive market with Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon. Groove is getting out of the business. That's Microsoft's platform.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time that I used Groove.
You cannot recall? Sorry, my new adapter, boop, its battery is dying.
I wondered what that was.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to say
it
anything.
sounded like a busy signal. Hello? Major Tom?
No, it's Jay-Z calling in.
Comes down. Stay where you are. Yeah, so that's intense. There's a lot of things that could happen as a result. And just so that everyone's aware, just to give the defense from Tidal, this isn't the first time this publication has come at Tidal before.
And this is a Norwegian
Yeah, this is Norwegian publication.
A Norwegian publication.
Here's a quote.
This isn't, and they have a history with Tidal.
They do.
Norwegian publication.
Yeah. So Tidal responded in a statement to CBS. This smear campaign from this publication once referred to an employee of ours as a, quote, Israeli intelligence officer, close quote, not sure why, and that the primary owner is a, quote, crack dealer. And they referred to that in the present tense, like he currently is dealing crack. Why would Jay-Z do that? Got nothing. We expect nothing less from them than this ridiculous story, lies, and falsehood. The information was stolen and manipulated, and we will fight these claims vigorously. Ooh, that seems like a little bit like an admission. Stolen information. Anyway, that is what I have for the news. Let's start unpacking the Levy stories because they're more interesting and bigger.
So this is the big one. If you've been on the internet recently, you might recognize the clip from this song.
This is America. Don't catch you slipping now. Don't catch you slipping now. Look what I'm with.
Childish Gambino's
Who dat?
This is America. Childish Gambino, more widely known as Donald Glover.
He was in Spider-Man.
Or young Han Solo.
Oh, yeah. Han Solo?
I mean young...
If it's not in the
God,
sky,
Lando
then it
Calrissian.
landoed.
What is the actor who originally played Lando?
I don't know,
Something
but
Williams.
in Cards Against Humanity, I play a house
Billy
rule.
D. Williams.
I play a house rule called Rando Cardrissian.
We do that.
I love it, and that's how I remember his name.
Regardless, Childish Gambino's This is America. The music video was released shortly after he performed it on Saturday Night Live. He was both it was Saturday Night Live hosted by Donald Glover featuring Childish Gambino.
Wow.
Which means Saturday Night Live hosted by Donald Glover featured Donald Glover because
that's funny.
Well,
that is really funny.
Makes sense.
I mean, sure, but like that's like.
But so
Marshall hosts Saturday Night Live featuring Eminem.
Sean Carter hosts SNL featuring Jay-Z.
Featuring so-and-so and hosted by. Like, can't you just use it in one credit? Come on.
Well,
I don't write featuring myself on my songs.
Donald Glover does keep his personas separate. There's Donald Glover and there's Childish Gambino.
Which is a wise thing, for
contracts.
contracts. Right. That's a really intelligent thing to do. Anyway, I'll let you tell your story.
Regardless, so the music video has gotten an absurd amount of attention.
I actually haven't seen it yet. I didn't intentionally avoid it. I just have been spending most of my time avoiding
anything hyped.
Well, not really. Like that wasn't me being like, I'm not gonna watch it. Like I am sometimes, just being super hipster.
The video, which we will obviously link in the description, is currently sitting at 90,124,052 views as of today, May 12th.
Wow.
The video was posted May 5th, so it's
Revenge of the 5th. Yep.
So it's been 1 week since it's been posted. Yeah, I know.
That was funny. That's funny. I'm funny.
But
I love American Dad.
It looks like, according to news sources, that it is going to be debuting at #1 in the Hot 100 next week, which most likely means that I'm going to be covering it for Pop Analysis.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So for this segment, I'm not going to focus so much on the music, more so than the music video.
Okay.
So this is going to be our second time we've gone in depth with the video. The first one being Taylor Swift's Delicate in relation to the Kenzo fiasco.
I thought the first one was Fox and Socks. Huh? Come on, that was actually a really good sequence.
All right, moving on.
The
music video was directed by one Hiro Murai, who's done a lot of Childish Gambino videos in the past. I believe he's
I'm not familiar.
And it was choreographed by Sherry Silver, who is an African choreographer. If you've been on the internet, they're all over Twitter, they're all over Facebook. All of these different analyses or little tidbits that people.
You want to do another shot of that? I do a lot of bench press so that people don't say that about me.
Some little tidbits that people talk about.
Little Timbits.
Little Timbits.
I love Timmy Hose.
Just to let you know, the music video is
Donuts
fairly
are
graphic. I have done my best to clip out some of the more graphic parts, but so just a bit of a content warning for anybody who does not wish to view anything terribly graphic.
Okay.
But the first
like
ones,
your
the first ones, people have gone into the fact that a lot of.
Sorry.
This is a serious topic, damn it.
This is small. I can keep it together.
So one of the first things that people point out are the number of social dances in there, such as the Gwara Gwara, which is a South African dance. I'll play that right here. So you can see how they absolutely do that. In terms of more westernized dancing, the moves that Block Boy does in his music video Shoot is done in, which is right here.
I'm not seeing it. But they will.
They will. Hold up. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. In terms of other things, speaking of the Shoot, there are many times where Gambino shoots people.
Oh, I see.
The first one is at the very beginning of the video. We will pull that up right here.
This is a meme I see all the time, where it's like so-and-so shooting something.
Now, I did mention, though, that I'm gonna mention this scene in particular because he is positioned in a very specific way. And if I pull up, people have been saying that it is actually very reminiscent of Jim Crow here.
Yeah.
And there's that image side by side to see that.
That is a distinct and very specific illusion. That's very clear.
Right. In terms of the other shooting scene that takes place, this is when he actually guns down the choir right here.
I haven't seen any of this. Oh,
I do cut it right before he shoots, but he then does unload into that choir, and that is a reference to the 2015 Charleston shooting.
That's right.
When a man gunned down people. And talking about these two scenes everything in this music video was done on purpose.
Right. So, and they're like kind of telling you because of that you should be looking for these sorts of illusions.
Right.
It's not really like when something happens incidentally that could be referenced.
Now, but now if we get more specific, I'm going to play this next time. I'm going to play you both of the shooting scenes after the shooting has taken place, again, for those who don't want to see it. And you'll notice that a boy will come on into the frame and take away the gun, kind of in a very unceremonious way, but specifically holding a red cloth both times. I will play that right here. So it's very clear in the first one.
Oh, yeah.
But see, we have the two red cloths.
Okay. Unpack that for me.
So there's been a couple of analyses of that scene in particular. The most predominant one is it's red, referencing the right-wing Republican Party and their ambivalence toward doing anything about gun violence.
I can see that, but if I was involved in this production, I'd want to lay that on a little thicker.
Right.
Probably have a white boy or something.
More generalizing is just the country's ambivalence to gun violence. The shooting happens, and then no sort of gun control happens.
That's
and it
interesting.
Just happens again. So that's one that's frequently spouted a lot.
It's really interesting. I feel like that maybe you could unpack that even more. Like the red is physically in his hands, and no matter who you pass the weapon onto, you're passing the blood.
Now, people have explicitly pointed out that a child is coming on to take this.
Passing on violence by generation.
Right, so there is
generational.
There was some thoughts as to like analyzing the fact that it's a child and passing showing them that this violence is tolerated to some extent because it just keeps happening and happening.
That's really intense.
Now, speaking of specifics, there's one image I want to pull up. That's going to be this image right here. So notice that Gambino's only wearing these gray pants.
Mm-hmm.
These gray pants, and you can tell by the fly, are actually Confederate soldier pants.
Oh, yeah. You look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, the
button fly is the dead giveaway.
The button from the side there, and they've got those enormous loops for weapon-holding belts.
Exactly.
For holsters.
But so that's a big thing. And then there are a bunch of other little ones.
But what does that wardrobe element suggest? Like, I know that it's an allusion to the Confederacy, but why put him in that if he's like the central character. I don't understand the commentary, what they're trying to say specifically.
I didn't look into that one specifically, but it was something that was pointed out on Twitter a number of times.
And obviously not disputable. Those are clearly Confederate
right.
pants.
I mean, the Civil War was about slavery and the abolishing of it, and
if you want to argue about that, I have something to say, because it was clearly about slavery. The curious institution. I sort of occupy the political right, which puts me in the room oftentimes with a lot of people with some strange or ignorant ideas about history, and that's a big one. And so they'll say states' rights, which yes was a component, but they used states' rights to defend the idea of institutionalized labor for no compensation.
Right.
I just get so mad about that.
Now.
The curious institution, man.
So there's another. So obviously the whole thing is like people are like the main focus is the dancers in the front having a good time, but there's so much troubling things going on in the background. Big content warning for this next one for suicide. If that's a thing for you, go ahead and skip ahead for the next 5 seconds. But in this shot right here, if you notice in the background,
oh man,
and they're just all dancing, complete, and all people are running by, but the school boys and girls and Gambino are just dancing away.
That's interesting.
Another one,
sort of like one of those fiddling while the
another one that was pointed out a lot
burns or whatever,
was this scene right here, right after the Block Boy shoot reference.
I'm so glad I went first. This would be tough to follow.
Right here. So if we look at this part right here, notice that horse in the background?
Yeah, what's the deal with it?
I believe, let me pull up the quote, because I am not terribly familiar with the Bible.
Oh, the pale horse.
Yep, and Death rode in on a pale horse.
Yes.
And you notice the man riding it completely garbed in black, and and hell follows, and behind him are a bunch of police cars.
Oh, that's very specific imagery.
Again, this music video is about how tough it is to be a black person in America.
Right.
And police brutality is a huge part of that.
Mm-hmm.
So and that stands out too, because it's a guy on a horse riding by. That's going to stand out to you, on a white horse specifically, and a person dressed completely in a black cloak. There's no you don't see any skin or anything.
What's happening musically there, or is it one of those things where they're juxtaposing a song that carries his?
So that's actually, if I play the clip again, you'll notice it opens with this happy sort of chant, but then it drops into a very darker beat. I have to unmute my computer.
Who produced?
And then it gets dark.
This is America.
So I believe it's this music playing. I'm not sure though.
Okay. Do you know who produced this? Was this also?
Actually, I do, and that's another thing. Remember how much I hailed Black Panther?
Yeah.
Ludwig Göransson was the producer.
Interesting.
Along with Childish Gambino for the music. Ludwig Göransson, the man who did the score.
The score
to Black Panther.
You know, I'm willing to bet that he developed a skill set with Kendrick.
Ludwig Göransson and Childish Gambino have worked together in the past.
Sure.
On his previous album, they worked together.
Right, but that seems so distinct to me. What we just heard.
But yeah, it's very this juxtaposing between dark and light, and there's just and even so, with all of this crazy stuff going on, they even go even further. They show they show this scene right here. This pan of these kids just on their phones, just like chilling, just kind of filming everything, and kind of people view that as kind of a way of how people react to this.
Yeah, just being so desensitized that when tragedy is unfolding before them, their instinct is not to help, not to run, not to. Their only reaction to events now is, can I record it? Can I snap it? Can I tweet it? Can I Instagram this?
There's sort of this whole thing. In the couple of final scenes before it, I mean, it's kind of shown that Gambino is the one who's just kind of taking you on this trip for all like, oh, look at how happy we are this whole time, but all this crap is going on behind us and it's horrible. And right before they do the last scene with him dancing on a car in a slow pan out, the music stops. He takes out either a cigarette or a blunt, lights it, and just smokes it. Like takes a quick puff, and then it just
a cigarette or a what?
A blunt.
I don't know what that is, other than a DJ.
A rolling of marijuana.
Oh, I would never know about such things.
Regardless, but so
oh my goodness,
the whole music video ends with a very specific scene that I'm going to play for you right here. So there we see Kendrick running away.
Not Kendrick. That's not Kendrick.
Gambino. from a mob. And there goes the
Seniors
mouse.
rule. You know, the timing couldn't be better because we're a little over in this segment.
But so yeah, go watch the video if you haven't. There's so much going on.
Looks like I have homework because this looks like really interesting real art.
You can watch it 100 times and always see something new.
You know, this is a great time, before we get into the break, this is just a great time for hip-hop generally because there's so much latitude for expression. It used to be, by my estimation, feel free to disagree, but by my estimation, hip-hop sort of existed in this denial of the difficulty of life, and it's just about the party, la-da-dee-da-dee, you know, that kind of thing.
Current hip-hop is a lot like that. Before it was, there was, I forget who said it, but the breakdown of history in rap and hip-hop was basically when it first came out into the market. It was, don't do drugs. Then it was, it's hard to stay away from drugs. Then it was, I'm selling drugs.
Right.
Now it's, I'm currently on drugs. And that was the it was kind of made in a joke, but there is a lot of
there's some truth to that.
There's a lot of truth to it.
But I think it's interesting that the sort of the advent of hip hop being marketed in the industry, because it existed outside of the industry, it was rejected as a marketable thing originally, and that when it started to be sold, it seemed to me that it was like it ignored how difficult things were, and you just wanted to feel good about stuff to this delightful beat.
Rap wasn't marketed until 1979 with the release of Rapper's Delight by the Sugar Hill Gang.
Right, and
before
that
then
was totally stolen.
No, yeah, it was.
It's Watch Drunk History.
Yep.
There's a whole bit. It's so well done.
But rap did exist before that, mostly with DJ Kool Herc, who's the godfather of hip hop.
Yep, and I remember there was this narrative. I don't know how true this is, but there was some kind of natural disaster that led to some looting, and then some of the hardware from the looting ended up being used in these underground hip-hop performances, which I think is really interesting. Maybe I'll check to verify that before I start spewing nonsense. Anyway, I just think that it's a great time for artistic expression, sort of parallel or outside of that kind of party scene that you sort of see in hip-hop all the time now. I mean, Kendrick won. He keeps winning, and then we've got this beautiful work from Donald.
Childish, yep.
Yeah, well, that is awesome sauce, if you will. It doesn't... Not sure what's happening. So we're going to put the break thing in post.
And boom. Goes the dynamite.
We're back. We found out what the problem was. It was an adapter issue.
Yep.
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 Yep. All right, let's talk about One Tour.
What?
One Tour.
Is it the one that never ends?
No, it's not, actually.
Thank God.
Bon Jovi's This House Is Not For Sale tour is ending.
That seems like a very obvious observation.
Here is the track Walls.
I mean, the
from that said album.
A house is not for sale, but
Brick by brick, gonna watch them fall. Build more bridges and tear down walls. These walls are the mountains that we...
All right, that sounds like Bon Jovi.
Yep, that's the most recent track he's released. They started touring back in February of last year, February 8th. They are ending May 18th at the Bell Center in Montreal.
In Montreal,
Canada.
Yes.
They will
Canada.
have been They have done a
Doing.
total of 63 shows.
Wow, that is a busy schedule, man.
That is on the higher half of tours. But that's it for tours. That's that one. Just that one.
I'm bracing myself because, like, we are in that time of the year where the tour announcements explode. Summer tour that we weren't planning, but we totally need money.
I've been adding a number to our list. I've been adding a number of them. A couple of them popped up this week, but we'll announce those when they start.
Boom.
But
Show
now
me
it's
what you
time
got.
for the patented Super Album Rundown.
Super Album Rundown.
This will be releases for the week from May 12th to May 18th. So let's get to it.
7 days without a rundown makes 1 week.
Just as a reminder, I will say the artist, the album, and the song I am playing, and you get one word to describe them.
But there's no quiz right at the end. Just
if I'm in a good mood, there isn't.
Oh.
Don't break anything. We just fixed the thing. Don't break more things. And here we go. First up, Ash, Islands, Buzzkill.
Wait, what's the order again?
Artist, album, song.
Artist,
Ash,
album, song.
Islands, Buzzkill.
Sounds like summer.
Big ups. 2 parts together. P,
Artist,
P,
album,
P.
What?
It's P, 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 P.
Pianissimo?
P, P, P.
Or have to PPP?
I don't know. Yeah, that was not pianissimo.
Nope.
The Brad Meldau Trio. Seymour reads the Constitution. Spiral.
Huh.
I hear Jasmine.
Sounds like it's limited by government. Sounds like it's constitutional.
Next up, first Korean boy band group that we're going to be talking about. BTS. Love Yourself. Tear. Singularity.
That's pretty dope, but it was just I think you picked a section where they were just doing weird stuff because that was like ba-dunk, 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 ba-dunk. It almost sounded like Guitar Hero missing note effects. Kink,
Hey,
bunk,
it's
kink,
what I
bunk.
picked them randomly.
It has no soul.
Buck
South
Meek
Korea soul?
of
No?
Big Thief.
Okay.
With his album Buck Meek. This is the song Cannonball.
Horse draw. Let's flip it. Hunter heads you lose, and tails I win.
Twangy.
Burn the Priest, better known as Lamb of God, with their album Legion XX. You see to have opinions. This is their song Inherit the Earth.
There's something to it. I just, Lamb of God is Lamb of God,
Yeah. Charles Watson of Slow Club. Now That I'm a River, the song No Fanfare.
Which sounds dope. I just like that the guitar pick sound in the back. That's nice.
Courtney Barnett, Tell Me How You Really Feel. Nameless, Faceless.
Said I could eat a bowl of alphabet soup and spit out a better word.
Nostalgic. I could eat the half of her.
Now I'm excited for this next one. From the Deadpool 2 original motion picture soundtrack.
I forgot that was a thing.
Celine Dion's Ashes.
Stop. I guess her
Just the
heart
fact
did
that she
go
made
on.
that for a Deadpool movie.
Yeah. Hey.
That's a new song.
I'd follow the green.
Moving on. Oh, here we go. More for you. Five Finger Death Punch
dear.
and Justice for None. Fake.
I want to like him. I really do. I like, honestly, this is an unpopular opinion, I like the way Ivan sings. I don't like the way he sang that, and I don't like the content. You're a mother trucker, you fake, you're a mother trucker. Like, come on, man. I know you can write better lyrics than that.
Moving on. Frog Eyes, Violet Psalms, Idea Man.
I dig it.
Gas, Roush.
Excuse you.
And before I play this song is actually like the entire it's one song. The entire album's like a multi-hour song. It's supposed to be just one giant composition. So here's just 10 seconds that I randomly chose of that gigantic composition.
Well, it sounds like I'm about to pick some options in a horror video game. Oh, what's the difficulty level? Okay.
Wait, hold up, wait. Ding, 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 ding.
Okay.
Ba-da-ba-ding.
Seriously. What is Resident Evil, right?
Yeah. James Bay, Electric Light, Wild Love.
Great.
Kelly Willis, Back Bean Blue, Back Bean Blue.
I'm back being blue.
He did it. He said the title of the song. But the twang twang.
Mama's Gun, Golden Days, London Girls.
But I lit on his knees, live it up the floor. She cries and I'm jumping, baby, live it up some more.
That's fun. I mean,
Mary Lattimore, Hundreds of Days, Hello from the Edge of the Earth.
well, it's not Lada less. It's really pulling on my harp strings.
I was waiting for that. Matthew Sweet, Tomorrow's Daughter, I Belong to You.
You know? I belong to you. You belong to me.
MC Paul
in my
Barman.
sweet
Please note that both the album name and the song name are surrounded by 3 sets of parentheses.
Wow.
MC Paul Barman, Echo Chamber, Commandments.
I've always wanted to have an Xbox.
Thou shalt not steal. Starve if you need a hot meal. Sorry, that's the law. God's real. Ninth commandment, don't bear false witness unless it...
I don't know what I just heard. But it kind of, I don't know.
Michael Ralph, It's a New Day, Sleep With Me.
Well, at least take me to dinner first.
I kept this one on here solely because of the names. Ooh, and Islamic Girls. So it's lowercase o, capital case O.
Oh,
lowercase
oh.
o, capital O, capital O. And then Islamic, spelled I-S-L-A-M-I-Q, and girls, G-R-R-R-L-S.
What's the name of the song?
Well, here, this is their album Feminine
Oh,
Mystique. All of Me.
I don't know what's happening. Oh, they're called Islamic Girls is the name of it.
No, those are 2 different artists.
I'm getting whiplash from this conversation. And so much so that I didn't even hear this music. Let's do it again. It's like bongos with an 808.
Again,
and
that
weird...
is ooh, and Islamic Girls.
The hand percussion with the 808 and like triangles.
Regardless,
And
moving
just
on.
A muddy sounding electric guitar with very little effects on it.
Parquet Courts, Wide Awake, almost had to start a fight in and out of patience. Well, it's / in and out of patience, but
If it stops, I'm having a bad dream.
Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You know, this that title's way more scandalous if he's a doctor. In and out of patients. Uh-oh.
Pema, which is Alex Napping's Alex Cohen, the album Bad Habits, the song Depend.
Virtuosic.
Post Data, Let's Be Wilderness, Evil.
Yep, looks like they're running out of ideas there.
Quiet Slang, which is Beach Slang's James Alex.
What?
Everything Matters, but No One Is Listening. Dirty Cigarettes.
Surprisingly lovely.
Yeah,
that was gorgeous cello, rich, beautiful tone.
Ray LaMontagne.
What?
Part of the Light, Such a simple thing.
Can't you see how much you hurt me? It's like I was
Everyone's trying to cash in on nostalgia. Everyone is.
Home stretch for the albums. Rick Wilson, Bamba EP, Split.
Bandika.
Yeah, this time I want a split. What I'm split. You can wreck something precious in 30 seconds.
Disjunct. Is it disjunct?
Riley
Disjunct.
Riley Walker, Deaf Man Glance, Telluride Speed.
Just trying to cash in on nostalgia.
I was about to say. The Front Bottoms, An EP, Tie Dye Dragon.
It's like I wrote it. Oh yeah.
The Sidekicks, Happiness Hours, Twins Twist.
None of them are the hero.
got that chronic 2000 high school state of mind. Burning mom's gas.
I mean, you heard that like slap reverb, the spring. Digga,
Yeah.
digga, 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 digga. It's ridiculous. What is this, the late 70s?
TT, which is Warpaint's Teresa Wayman. Album Love Laws, the song Love Leaks.
I've always wanted to be like the person that wrote the song for Bond, like James Bond, the introduction montage. That's what that sounded like.
Wax Chatels,
Oh.
In My Mouth.
Wax off, please.
How about some Wax?
That was funny. Come on.
How about some Wax Idols?
It's still more Wax?
Happy Ending Scream.
Should do a mashup so that the two Wax things scream in your mouth. Wouldn't that be funny? I'm sorry, I take it back.
And
I take
finally,
back all of it.
Wussy, What Heaven Is Like, Gloria.
I thought we were Gloria, Gloria.
And that's the Super album rundown.
We did it.
We did it.
Did we do it?
I don't even know why we are on time.
What? I don't even know either. What time is it? Do you know what time it is? Hey, actually, we're right on the money.
That's actually pretty
So
close. too.
it's time for a break. I don't want to go. I don't feel so good. You like my shirt?
And here we are.
We're back for the final segment of episode this many.
8.
How many is that?
8.
8.
8.
What'd you eat?
One more finger. Oh, wait, you have a thumb.
No, I have them all.
Okay.
You're
All I saw was the 2.
I know I play tuba, but I know how many this. I don't,
can't
though.
see your thumb, so
I
it looks
can't
like you're
read.
holding up 7. There, now it's 7 to me. Now it's 8.
Oh, that's whoops. I was gonna make a joke and then I didn't.
Good. Moving on. Vinyl verdict.
What is today's vinyl verdict, Mr. Ma3stro?
Because we mentioned him and he's just a whole mess of nonsense right now. What is the one thing that Kanye West could do to make you like him?
There's literally nothing.
All right, and that's it. Moving on.
And click. I'm kidding. Do you guys remember way back when? The first Taylor Swift thing?
Oh, I'm going to let you finish.
I'm going to let you finish.
Yeah.
I wanted to do that at some... Doesn't have to be necessarily Donald Trump. I'd be happy to see him do this to Nancy Pelosi. But I just want him to just take over some sort of, like, important podium and just start talking. That would be awesome. That would be great. I would actually like that. Oh, but I probably still wouldn't like him. Maybe if he admitted to being a gay fish. Huh? What about you? What would it take?
I enjoy I enjoy a number of the music he makes, especially like Late Registration, basically his first original trilogy, that he did. But he just needs so much help.
He do. Well, I mean, okay, so I don't want to give too much of the business to Kanye. I watched a couple of really interesting Vox sort of mini tiny documentaries that unpack and analyze his work, so I recognize the artistic merit. And my favorite thing he's ever done was being featured on a 30 Seconds to Mars track. It is not that good of a track. Like, it's just... is there.
I remember when All of the Lights was released. I really liked that
song. I remember when Bush doesn't care about black people. This co-host, when he was saying it, looked mortified. Just, what do I do now? He just laid it up there.
You know what? So all that Kanye would have to do is, one, turn off his Twitter account again.
Really? Is that all it would take? That's not a
no.
high bar.
I this is a series.
Are you calling on him formally? Duly Noted is calling on Kanye West to turn off his Twitter account.
At Kanye West. No. Honestly, it's like if he could just keep making music and just nothing else. Like no more interviews, no more tweets,
no more red hats.
No more red hats. Just like,
whoops.
You know what? No. Kanye, go see a therapist. Just like all of that
pent up everything.
Everything.
All of that. Holy crap.
Just get all of your crap, put it in the bag so it's all together.
Yo,
just
Donna, I'm going to let you finish.
He just needs to get his everything together. Dear God. I'm
looking forward to more pun names. He's got Northwest. He's got, what's the other one named?
I have no idea.
East West. Last name Quantum Leap.
I like this stuff.
Best Western.
Look, Kanye West.
Gone West.
Kanye West. We need to get this off of our Kanye chest. So
no.
don your Kanye vest and please just do your Kanye best. Lest you become a pest, Kanye West. Please. We must confess. Kanye West.
Are you making this up?
Yes.
Wow.
Kanye
he can
West.
have a Kanye West crest on his chest.
Please go take a Kanye test.
So, and we can't.
And go get help. Kanye West.
This cannot be emphasized any less. Dress.
This is not a Kanye jest. Nor
West.
a Kanye nest.
West.
Did I say best already?
Yes.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I did that on purpose. Okay. Well, it
Kanye finesse.
Looks like the winner of the final verdict is West puns.
Go get help.
I think we need help.
I'm fine. I don't know what you're talking about.
I motion to move forward to the featured artist. Do I hear a second?
So, our indie plug for today is a very good friend of mine. I've been friends with him since high school.
Ash Ketchum from Palatown?
Yep, Ash Ketchum.
Gotta catch 'em all.
It is Sam Morykwas.
Cool last name.
Morykwas. He's a good friend of mine. He is a hip-hop producer in Detroit. He's recently started doing more artistic things and releasing songs himself. He used to be known. He used to go by the moniker Jack of All Trades. You could find him back in the day as Jote Producer. I don't think he uses that much anymore. He has worked with artists such as, these are all Detroit underground artists, Ra the Sun, Grace Griffin when she was active, Anthropology. He's done some work with the rock duo Tart. But he's very much just inside of the Detroit underground music scene, and there's just he's done so much. He's very Detroit proud, so if you really want a taste of Detroit, he's the one you got to go to.
That's dope. I dig it.
But the song I'm going to play for you is his he released this single very recently called AP, just a single, not off any album or anything. AP
Pen?
standing for Arnold Palmer.
I was thinking Apple Pen, but that also needs a pineapple pen.
But here we go. This is going to be Sam Morykwas's AP.
Arizona, Arnold Palmer, lemonade, iced tea.
Okay.
So everything you're hearing, he did himself.
Now this sounds like summer to me.
I think this was released as a summer jam.
This is a top down, 85 on the highway kind of song.
He very much likes expanded chords.
Yeah. It seems a little amped up in the low end, but I mean that's kind of the idiom,
Yeah,
it's not a bad mix though.
No, that's what he. That's how he did it.
He definitely likes his bass out in front, that's for sure.
No, he wants. I remember we were listening to one of his things. He was trying to get a good feel for it. So we all went out to his car, plugged it in, cranked the bass, and I'm like, is the car shaking enough? I feel like the car should be shaking more.
There's this amazing video of somebody who just had the bass all the way up in their car. You can see the wave on the window. It's just pushing outside the seal. So, do you know if this guy has any formal training? Because there's some pretty advanced stuff happening.
He has no formal
just
training.
incidental, just
he's
good
been making
instincts.
music for
That's so cool.
forever. He was in a jazz band with me for a while. He did guitar. So he does know guitar.
Oh, so can he read or is
He can read basic sheet music. Like if you throw a Bach sonata, he might struggle. But if you threw chords at him, he'd be playing them like nobody's tomorrow.
Okay, so there's some training, but really just performance training with a guitar.
Their live stuff that he does is great.
This is awesome. This is really fun.
Yep. But yeah, we'll link his everything in the description.
This is good.
Including the song.
People are laughing at me in the booth and in the room, and I feel some judgment. This is good.
And roll credits.
Is there going to be a after credit scene?
Peter Putman on videography. Matt Forry in the booth.
I don't feel so good.
And until next time, you want to do the one bit before we go?
Which one bit? I don't.
How do you feel?
I'm not feeling so good.
And until next time.
I don't want to go.
Duly noted.